You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? We are here, we are in the building for another episode of Coffee and Kata, where we are going to look over our news stories. And today, what we're going to do is, oh my goodness. All right, stop the show. You can't put me on a pip. Like, you can't. All right, you can't do that to me. Like, well, all right, we'll have a one-on-one later. We'll talk about it. I'm gonna get my act together. I am so sorry. Don't let Ferris influence you. All right. Anyways, this is Coffee and Kata. I am Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win. Yes, we are. So, action numbers. You guys are so funny. All right. What we are doing today, we're going to look at our news stories, and then we're going to do a recap of what we did on Saturday, what we were supposed to do this week, but time was of the essence, so we had to move a little bit faster than expected. So we have the app in the App Store. We'll look at it on the phone. I'll show over the code. I'll give a recap of what we did, and that will be our day. All right. So without any delay, let's get into our news. But before let's address the chat real quick, because Ferris is trying to get me in trouble. Ferris says, "Bro is 15 minutes late. Gonna have to ban him." Look, I got caught up on the Tech Niche Tips channel, and we were talking about TikTok banning and suing back, and Apple's new releases and stuff like that. Hey man, cut me some slack here. And then everything wasn't working, so I had to turn it back on and stuff like that. So, but we're here. We are here. We don't miss. How did Ashanti say it? Not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. All right. Just like yesterday's stream, right at the end, we figured out what the problem was, and everything started working, and the world was good again. All right. So come on, give me some slack. All right. And your car is in the building. Says, "Let's get it, bag chasers." That's a fact. And see, this is what we don't want. This is what we don't want. Putting Ralph on a pip. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Actionable response, tardiness.
Bruh.
Oh, and then of course we have to have Mitch jump in the fun as well. Terrible. And getting Ferris blocked. All right. Anyways, let's get into our news. Too much. All right. So, you know how we're gonna start off. I'm gonna put 5 minutes. We'll probably go a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but I'll put 5 minutes on the clock. And let's get into our news. So, the first and foremost, the numbers to watch for this week. We are going to get ready for Saturday morning. We had a great show Saturday morning. We went over the consumer sentiments, went over the jobless claims, and we looked over the M2, which is the total amount of cash the US has on hand versus what is our debt, and we are about $13 trillion short. So, yeah. All right, so let's take a look. So numbers to watch this week. Inflation returns to the spotlight this week with a key gauge is likely to show price growth slowed in April after several months of above expected gains. The consumer price index, including volatile items such as fuel, is expected to increase at 3.6% annual rate, lower than 3.8% in March, according to Morgan Stanley. That would be welcome news after consumer sentiment survey on Friday showed expectations for near-term inflation are the highest in 6 months. The Federal Reserve has said it will wait for price growth to have clearly slowed before starting to lower rates from a 23-year high. Wow, what perfect timing right in the middle of election season. All right, so upcoming releases include, which we're going to be reviewing on Saturday. Tuesday, May 14th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the Producer Price Index for April. The gauge measures the change over time in prices charged by domestic producers for their output. And then we have Wednesday, May 15th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the Monthly Consumer Price Index for April, which measures inflation through the price of goods and services. The U.S. Commerce Department will release its retail sales report for April, which tracks demand for finished goods, such as food, clothing, and furniture in stores and online. And then lastly, Thursday, May 16th, the U.S. Department of Labor will release its initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report is a proxy for layoffs, track the number of people filing for unemployment benefits. So, and we review that one every week. And we have the monthly ones coming out on Wednesday. And so we have about 4 to review this coming Saturday. So we'll check it out. We'll check it out. All right. So let's jump into our next one. We have courts block credit card fee cap. All right. So a government limit on credit card late fees set to go into effect this week has been put on hold by a federal judge in Texas. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau issued the rule in March as a part of an effort to eliminate junk fees and help alleviate the pressure of high prices and interest rates. It was challenged by business groups who argued it would lead to more late payments and credit card debt. The CFPB estimates the proposed $8 limit would save consumers and cost the card industry $10 billion a year. So we are trying to save them. So the CFPB estimates the proposed $8 limit would save consumers, and it would cost the credit card company $10 billion a year. Ooh, talk about a fair trade. And you know what? Don't get credit cards. And if you do get them, pay them on time. All right, pay them on time. It's only a junk fee if you don't pay it on time. So think about that. The credit card fees currently average $32, according to the CFPB. The judge issued a preliminary injunction and calling for a hearing where the case can be adjudicated in greater detail per CNN. And now, what's going to happen if this this cap is to go into effect? Then it's just going to be a lot less people who are going to be approved, which probably is to their benefit, right? Who are going to be approved to get credit and stuff like that. It's they're always trying to save us from our bad decisions, right? So next up, let's get into our favorite UAW. UAW eyes Mercedes-Benz plant. Alabama has become the latest battleground for the United Auto Workers. About 5,000 hourly workers at a Mercedes-Benz plant will begin voting Monday on whether to join the union, reports the Wall Street Journal. The pivotal moment follows a recent move by workers at Tennessee's Volkswagen plant to join the UAW, as well as historic contracts the union reached with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis last year. They also don't tell you that probably about half of those people who were in the UAW got laid off. Probably, I'm guessing about half, but yeah, because they weren't happy. So they were so happy after they got the deal done, and then a month later they came in and like, oh, actually, in order to pay your coworker who's protesting with you, you gotta go. So, sucks. The workers' goal includes higher pay, more affordable health insurance, improved safety and scheduling. However, the governor of Alabama and 5 other southern states warn unionization could jeopardize jobs. Well, talking about grown-ups yesterday, here we are. So, that's that. Let's see what we got next up. Apple Store workers vote to strike. Oh my goodness. Workers at the first Apple Store to unionize have now become the first to authorize a strike. The union members said the move in Towson, Maryland, sends a clear message about staff frustration with staff frustration with unpredictable scheduling and wages too low for the cost of living. If the strike goes ahead, it would be the first out of over 270 U.S. shops. The labor unrest is just the latest recent headwind for Apple, ranging from a controversial ad to competition in artificial intelligence. Apple is finalizing an agreement with OpenAI to use ChatGPT on the iPhone, Bloomberg reports, citing anonymous sources. OpenAI's technology would be integrated into iOS 18, Apple's next operating system for the device, the source said. Apple is looking to upgrade virtual assistant Siri to chat using generative AI instead of answering individual questions, the New York Times reports, citing anonymous sources. Apple's employees at the store in Short Hills, New Jersey, voted over the weekend not to unionize. So, all right. So, with that being said, do you foresee your car? Let me know. Do you foresee seeing the Tesla robots, the human droid robots, working as Apple employees? So when you go there, you have a Tesla bot who is trying to help you service you, help you sell you an Apple product and things like that. Because can the robots humanize? Can they unionize? Can the robots unionize? That's my question. So is that a possibility? All right, last story for the morning. Why that Zillow alerts feel so good? I don't get Zillow alerts, so this is going to be interesting. You know, you got a good deal. So go ahead and keep those airfare or Zillow price alerts on long after you've bought the tickets or house, says the Wall Street Journal. The act of feeling validated by prior good decisions is what Boston University marketing professor Carrie Morwedge considers remembered utility. And it's a more self-affirming use of the 10% of our thought most of us devote to comparisons. Plus, in reminding yourself why a long ago splurge was money well spent, you're still squeezing even more out of those experiences, Morwedge says. I don't know. It just seems a little weird. But if it makes you feel good, I guess it works. All right. Anyways, that is it for our news this morning. Let's go and check the chat, see what's going on. Let me see what's going on in the chat today. All right. So, you guys, I think God said that before Ashanti. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. We still love you. And Mitch says, your card, you are always up. That is a fact. And your card says, I just catnap. I never really sleep. People don't believe me until they hang out around me. I'll sleep when I die. Now that was a Jeezy verse. And Mitch says, no, the credit card companies will lose $10 billion. Most credit card companies make the real money on interest and late payment fees. Yep, they sure do. That's why I pay the credit cards in full. I'm even thinking about, I'm not even going to use these anymore because it's not worth it. And your card says, I think the credit card companies will fight this. They are never going. They are never going to stop trying to us from making to make us a bad decision because they profit from our ignorance. That is a fact. A fool is born every day. God might have also said that one too. I'm just saying because a fool is born every day. That's a fact. And then we get one of these for it. Glow Hardy in the building. What's going on, Glow Hardy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciate it. And your car also says, I think companies are talking all the AI are. I think companies are taking all the AI and robots for evaluation purposes only. Once the economy recovers, the people experience will take over. No one will want to be served by robots. Aww, that's taking all the fun out of things. Taking all the fun out. I would love to buy something from a robot. And Glow Hardy says, I don't want to buy anything on credit. I salute you on that. I hate buying stuff on credit, but you know, it's not what it is because we can avoid it. If we buy what we need, we can avoid it, right? So let's jump over to a recap of Saturday's work. So when I started on Saturday, it was hilarious because I'm like, why is nothing working? But it turns out that nothing was working because I had loaded the wrong project in Android Studio. But figured that out, and we got it up and working, and now we're figuring it out. So I just wanted to do a quick recap of what we had to do. So I'm not going to do the whole thing over again, but we had to. Let me share the screen. What time is it? It is. I'll put up 20 minutes on the clock. Let's go with. Where's my other 20-minute timer? Let's go with that one. So. Let me share the screen. So, I updated the key for the ads, and it was a simple command. Let me see if it's still in here. I don't know. Nah, Seraphim. We had to do, I think Flutter build IPA. Let me pull it up to make sure. Flutter. So we went here. So let me just show you on the other screen what we did. Just an overview, and then I will load it up on the actual app on the phone, and you will see it's there. It's right now. It's in test flight, and there should be a link in the chat in case anyone wants to sign up to be a mobile tester of the app and give me some feedback on it. So we went I had already did this back in February. So we went all the way down to, over here. So Flutter build IPA. IPA is the version of, it's the file that an app is built for the iOS store. And then after it gets built, then we had to use the transporter to upload it. So let me see if I can find it. Transporter. So you just drag and drop the file into this little window right here, and then it's going to upload it to the iOS store. And now it's in test mode. Let me see if I can log into the iOS store. Let me see. Give me a second. All right, so there goes the app, and it is, I think it's over here. Let me see, test flight. So with Apple, test flight is the way that the app gets delivered for test mode. So if somebody wanted to test the app, they'd have to download on iOS. They'd have to download test flight, and then you'd have all the apps that are available for you for testing before it actually goes live. So this is the one we had on Saturday. If I open up this one, this one expired. So it's probably not going to show up in test flight anymore. But now this one is going to be show up in test flight if you are a tester. And if you go into it, it has the details, it has the my testing groups, and from there, once that's done, we're gonna go to the next step and just yesterday, Apple approved it for like they did their review. It's in testing mode now, and after like I don't know, maybe about 2 weeks, if everything is good, um, come on. So yeah, in about maybe 2 3 weeks, if everything is good, then we are going to go to the next step to push it up to be official in the App Store. So we shall see. We shall see. But if we look at distribution and it's prepared, so the next thing is after like after the time frame is up, then we're gonna do add for review, and it's gonna go through Apple's processes. We have to do the same thing for Android. Let me see if I can get into the Android store to give a quick recap from last week. But we're in a good spot. We still have other features that we are going to add as well as we've seen on our Kanban board. We can review that as well today. So today's like more of a review day. We're not really doing any coding work because we did it on Saturday. So we're just looking around to what's going on. Let me log into the Google developer mode so that we can see how it's looking over there. Let me see, where is it? All right, there we go. So if we go to the home, this is the one that we have inside of Google. And Google is a little different. You just upload the file to Google and it's going to do its processing thing. Install audience. Let's see. Let me see. View app. And right now it is in internal testing. Show summary. Supported on about 20,000 Android devices, which seems kind of, well, no, 20,000 Android devices, but like, so that means there's a lot of Android devices out there. So, yeah, let me see if I go here. Cool. So, I mean, that's basically it. It's in both stores. I need to push out the testing, and then once we push out the testing, then we shall go into the next steps of getting it into the actual app store so anybody can be able to download it. Yeah, so let me see what Ferris says in the chat. Is there an entire playlist of you building this app? I will need this later this year. Yeah, it's pretty much has been all of the morning shows for the most part. And it is, yeah, it's the Coffee and Kata morning show. That's pretty much the one that I do all of the building the app on. So yeah, check it out. And if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. All right, so what we're gonna move towards now is we are going to look at the app on the iPhone, on the actual iPhone. I did it on Saturday, but today's Monday. So for those who couldn't tune in on Saturday, we can take a look at it together. I am using, let me go back to the other screen over here. I found this app called My iPhone Mirror 2 or My Phone Mirror 2. And it allows it to connect to the device. So let's see. Let me move this over here. And we are going to close that. That over USB. Say okay. Trust. There we go. All right. So now if I go and navigate to the actual app in test flight. So there goes the app. Open. There we go. So the ads aren't showing up on iOS because with AdMob, the ad provider, it needs to be approved. So yeah, but it shows up on Android. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, so there goes the app. Let's go with say you're making like 106,000. You know, we've seen this before. The ad would go here. And everything, like I tested it on Saturday, everything is working. One issue that we had on Saturday was we couldn't get this screen down, but I was eventually able to figure out how to force close the app on iOS, and then after we did that, it came back up, so we were in a good spot. Let me see. So I don't know. And we go with $25, $500, money made. I say you made 1,000. Reset calculator. Are you sure you want to reset all the fields? Confirm. Submit feedback. Opens up a Google Doc form where you can submit some feedback. That's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. And it's in both stores, right? So let's see. So Ferris also asks, this stupid annoying thing again. Drives me crazy. How do you manage multiple projects at once, like remembering stuff for the time calc app versus that is a good question. I manage it like disconnect this thing. Hold on. So that is a great question, Ferris. I will show you exactly how I manage it. Okay. Let me show you. I'm going to show you. So we have over here is my Scrum board, our sprint for our poopy pants stuff, right? So this current sprint, we just started it last night. We're going to be working on updating existing quotes in the database using the API. So we're going to be putting like a patch put API calls so we can update the quotes, mainly to update them from pending to active, as well as using typos we have to fix. Without going directly in the API, we're going to be implementing basic authentication on the API endpoint so that not any rando can just come and spam us. And we're going to be creating Swagger documentation. That's what I'm working on this current sprint with the Tech Barbarians, right? Now, if we go over to the time management software, this is how I manage with a Kanban board my other project, right? Let me move this over here. This is all done, ready for testing, ready for testing, ready for testing. All of that. So I manage that one. And let's see. So I have a bunch of boards. And then for content creation, which hope maybe Saturday we'll be able to do this on where we're gonna be doing the Kanban stuff, right? So let's go to, I use this for the live streams where I have everything on my board. So Monday show, ready to stream. That's pretty much done. This is done. And yeah, so that's, and then we have the pre-recorded as well. It's all agile, all Kanban, all Scrum. and I just jump from board to board. And then I also use AnyDo as well. Like this morning, because I think it was a wealth building journey yesterday who mentioned about zero trust architecture, and I looked that up this morning. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good topic to talk about. So that's pretty much how I'm able to work on all these different things all at one time. When I was first starting off, I was talking to a friend of mine. And I was like, should I just go through like one thing? So let's say, for instance, I want to do the data analytics, data science, data engineering, machine learning course, right? And I'm like, should I just go to like every show, just keep doing that until I'm done with that, or should we like split it up? And my friend was like, you should probably just go through one and then start something else. But the problem that I thought about that, but the problem I had with that was there's so many different technologies out there, and you see how long it takes to, like, for instance, remember on Friday when you were working on getting the VS Code set up and then the PyCharm and then just like all the issues that you had with Linux. For me, I'm like, I know that we're going to go through these troubles, and I know we're going to have to interact with the chat, and I don't want, like, how am I going to be able to learn multiple things? So like Terraform, there's stuff I want to do with Terraform. I want to learn Terraform. I want to get better at like Node and all those type of things. So I was like, well, I'm gonna kind of have to have shows dedicated to different things so that we can get it all in. And now, like with the, and I also pair a lot of these things, right? So what I do with Terraform is building out the architecture to support. Build out the architecture to support the application, like the proof of concept application, right? So what I'm doing, like when I'm working with building out that, I'm also planning on Sundays that, all right, what architecture do I need? So like you saw yesterday, trying to figure out the load balancer and stuff like that. And the cool thing is with that, you can see how much security that is involved with like the reason that it wasn't working yesterday was purely a security issue, because there wasn't a listener when trying to access the URL, and the security group was blocking access to the port 443. So it's and it all, like, by doing it that way, when I'm okay, so on Sundays it's Terraform, on Thursdays it's like some type of software thing, and then let's say the mornings I'm working on mobile development, things like that. It just gives different areas of interest for whoever would be interested in it, so that it's not like, and all of the stuff I'm interested in it, right? But let's say someone is interested in like infrastructure, they can tune in on Sundays and find out more about that and ask questions about that. Someone is interested in QA stuff, which doesn't really, it's like it can have some infrastructure related stuff, but it's not necessarily 100% that. They can tune in on Thursdays, and so all of that, and depending on what shows you want to watch. So I just structure it that way, so that way I can continue learning a bunch of stuff for myself, and I can also share that content, and whoever is interested in that particular content, they can tune in, as opposed to if I just stick on one thing, I think I'm going to be missing out on. So it's like just progressing a little bit by a little bit by a little bit, and then having them somewhat related to each other, because now by building the app for the time cost calculator, I probably will go say, okay, now let's build out the mobile app for the quotes thing. And also the way that I'm building out the quotes API, it's going to be so easy to just generate new web applications, new mobile apps for different type of quotes, right? So let's say there's a quote for, let's say you want to build the same thing for, like, I don't know, Jocko Willink or something, right? All you have to do is change the layout, change a couple of request parameters, and then you have a whole new application. Change the design, whatever, you have a whole new application. You can do mobile, web, all of that. And then if you need to build out the infrastructure for that as well, we already have a blueprint for that. So we learned all this stuff in the past 6 months, and we're able to put everything together. So it actually worked out. Like, did I have that in mind when I first started? Not exactly, but as I find a need for something I need to learn, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's find a way to share it. Let's find a way to stream it. All that. So my mind, you know, I'm going to say that I have a self-diagnosed ADHD, right? Self-diagnosed. I'm going to admit that. But I found a way to make it work for me by my mind, like going by being able to handle many different things. I'm able to like learn more and stay up to date with different things. So that's why I do the bug bite as well. So that I'm like, all right, what news is going on in the industry, all that good stuff. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? That's just how my mind works, and, all right, let me see. Glow's making me laugh. All right, so let's see. First says, makes sense. When you explain it that way, it carries over to each other projects. Accelerate. Yep. Like, and I spent maybe like 3 Sundays trying to figure out how to do some infrastructure type stuff, and it gives me something to look through during the week, getting prepared, all that type of stuff. And it's like what I wanted to figure out, how do I deploy a Node app onto AWS, and then I did research on that. It said, all right, you can use Elastic Beanstalk as an example. We can also use like we were using yesterday with AWS Fargate and stuff like that. But I had to figure out how to do it manually first, and then so that was one show, right? For example, one show getting it, or maybe it might have been 2, figuring out how to do it manually, following a guide, everything like that. And then once you figure out how to do it manually, we're like, all right, now how do we do that through Terraform so we can automate it? So now when you see me do a Terraform up, it's like it would set everything up, and then I can bring everything down, all of that good stuff. And same for like we were doing yesterday, figure out manually, automate it, and then now we just bring it up, bring it down as we need. And then once we have it confirmed, then we can say, all right, now this is going to be running, leave it up, and then stuff like that. And we did the same thing with the database for it. Very, very soon we're going to be migrating to the MongoDB Atlas database, so we can host our codes there. So what I'm working on in the private group with the Tech Barbarians, I am able to build the infrastructure publicly so that I can share that content. I can learn it, because that's stuff I don't know, and I'm learning it as we go along. Similar to how you're getting more familiar with AWS for the project that you're working on, So it's like the content kind of creates itself. And so like a funny thing is, this week I was like, all right, now that the apps are in the store, what am I going to do in the morning? So I'm like, all right, well, we can continue working on stories, or we can just start building another app, So it's just, the content creates itself. The content like for me at least, like the tech content creates itself, because there's always something to do. There's always something to learn. I could easily say, you know what, in the mornings now we're going to go into the machine learning and the data stuff, right? I have a bunch of courses in my Udemy that I can easily say, oh, let me go into this, learning this one, learning that one. I'm not 100% sure yet, So we'll figure that out. But the content creates itself. When you are showing what you're learning, it's going to do it for itself, all right? And your car says that that goes along with the expression, how do you eat an elephant? Facts. One bite at a time. And Glow says, God, I had 6 months of content to go through. Hey, and it's like by almost streaming almost every day something different, right? So like the Q&A shows, the like the ones where we're doing the work, like Terraform. It's a lot of content. And one thing that I have planned, like as I get caught up with editing the Q&A videos, then we're going to start clipping up some of the videos from the live streams we're doing, like QA stuff or Terraform stuff, so that we can put clips of like the actual work. And so that way it's not easy to go and watch a 2-hour live stream where we're having fun in between. But if someone just wants to see, okay, how did you do this particular segment, they can go see that and stuff like that. So that is the plan. That's my idea. That's what I'm working on. But yeah, so I'm trying to like I should be putting timestamps, but it is not easy to put timestamps. So, anyways, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this morning. We are going to be I have a candid conversation coming out this afternoon at noon. At noon, not this afternoon, but at noon, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Check it out, talking about why I gave up, because a lot of you guys, you're not serious, but the ones who are, we are going to win. Yes, we are. And then I will be back tomorrow night live for our Q&A night, the same way that we do. And then Wednesday morning, we're back in the morning. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Is there any new comments? Let's see. So you guys are funny. Let's see. So Glow said, thinking about developing app infrastructure is a daunting task. Network permissions, packet transferring, latency control, scrubbing, etc. Thinking about it. I didn't think about none of that stuff, but you might be right. That's a good point. I just honestly, I follow the app that I built is super, super small. And it's mainly so that I can give the people that I'm coaching some experience and so they can actually have real experience building an app, putting it on the internet, having stuff to talk about. I had one of the people that I'm coaching create a video about and put it on LinkedIn about what they actually been learning. And you would not believe, the way they explain everything that they've been learning, you would not believe that I just started working with them a little bit over a month ago. They sound like they've been doing this for at least a year. So, but that's what I always talk about, doing real work, and instead of the little games that they have you play in some programs, do something, put something out there, have something you can talk about, have something that you can pull up and say, oh yeah, I built this. Because if you are a QA tester, a software engineer, a product manager, a scrum master, whatever it is, if you are part of the project, you built it. It's not the engineers that built it. It's the team that built it. So you can easily say, oh yeah, I built this app. This was my role building this app. I was the QA person. I found these bugs. This was our testing strategy, all of that type of stuff. And that's why I do it that way, so that they can actually get real experience, something to talk about, something to put on their resume, something to show in an interview saying, oh yeah, and this is the infrastructure behind it, MongoDB, Node, Docker, all that good stuff, AWS architecture, all that good stuff. Anglo says, the redundancy of scripting, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to lie, software engineering is very dense. I'd rather work for the end user. That's so funny. And let's see. So Ferris says, I agree. Content creates itself. Got my next project planned. Exactly. And you guys go check out Ferris's page. I really enjoy his streams. I was in the chat on Friday. We were I tell you, I was working on editing of videos, planning for my next shows, and I was going back and forth oh, try this, about the Linux commands and stuff like that. Try this, try that, and I had fun on Friday night, I must say. So, and Ferris, he does a really good job, really, really good communicator. So, that's really cool. So Ferris, drop your link in the chat so people can go check out your page. I think you're going live on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week, trying out a new schedule. So all that, but yeah, honestly, for my project, I just followed the guides, terraformed it, and as you learn more about what you were saying earlier about the network redundancy and all that type of stuff, you can start to adjust it. To get it to work, I had to set up a load balancer, which you can adjust the scaling and stuff like that. So and it's Terraform, so I can just go into Terraform, change a 3 to a 5 or whatever, and then it'll scale up, scale down, all that. Let's see. So can I put it as if I review the series? For sure. I don't care. Do whatever you want. It's honestly the biggest thing that I saw when so many people would come to me is so they'll take a program, whether they'll do a Udemy course or a boot camp or something like that, or they'll go get some type of certification. They didn't have any practical application to all the stuff they were learning. So they would have the theory down, but then I say, okay, well, what would you do in this situation? And they would be they would freeze, they would be fumbling and stuff like that. I'm all right, well, let's build something. And through building, you're going to learn. And some people, they were able to pick it up, go along with it. And then some other people are like, oh, this might not be for me. And which is also good because I would rather you have a low investment in finding out that this isn't for you, rather than you go and you spend $10,000 on a program and then you're like, oh, this isn't for me. Spend a few hundred here and find out in a few months that, okay, this is going to be too tough for me. Let me pivot to something else that might be a little bit more in my domain. The coding side, the QA side, the cybersecurity side might not be necessary for me. But at least I didn't have to go spend a bunch of money to find that out, because you're not getting a refund from these people, right? And you're not going to get a refund from me either, but at least it's going to be a lot less money spent, so that's what I'm talking about. And let's see. And Glory says, I'm not going to lie, I'm thinking about Raising Cane's chicken and sweet tea vodka this morning. Oh my God. You know what? Down here, I had never heard Raising Cane. Glow Hardy. What state are you in? I'm curious. Because I had never heard of Raising Cane's before, but my company, they're based in Nebraska. And so I was on a call and they're talking about Raising Cane's. I'm like, what is Raising Cane's? And I looked it up, and it's chicken and stuff. So then I'm in South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale area, but I was in around the West Palm Beach area last year sometime, and they had a Raising Cane's. I'm like, oh wow, there's Raising Cane's. So I might have to try it out. I heard some good things about it. So, and I'm from Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. All right. So anyways, that is it for today, you guys. I appreciate you all. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up. There is no, you know what? I had fun this morning. I had all my friends here. So, let's see. So it says, that was the same thing for when I was in the Army. I was like, man, what the hell is a cookout? Let's see. And Ferris says, Raising Cane's is a white. Oh my goodness. You are too much. That is messed up, Ferris. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here before you get me in trouble, Ferris. You guys check out Ferris. Like I said, check out Ferris's stream tonight talking about cybersecurity. And it says they just put one in Jersey. Oh, interesting. Yeah, they must have just put one in West Palm too. It hasn't made it down to the Broward area yet. Are you guys familiar with Culver's, by the way? They just put one. I mean, maybe a year or two ago, they put one down here. Around the time Wawa came down here. But yeah. Anyways, he's crazy. Ferris is crazy. Logo is a dog too. I mean, I gotta get out of here. You guys are too much. So I had a good time today. So the question is, you know what it is already.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Is this not why you are here? We had fun in the morning. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys later. But on the way out, we're not going to talk about the price of the brick. We're going to say,
I mean, all we do is win, man. You know that.
All we do is win. And on that note, this is Tech Coach Ralph, and I am out.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again. Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Huh?